I recently watched the Quiet Place movies for the first time and absolutely loved them. But when I went online afterwards to see if I could find any related LEGO content, I was absolutely shocked to find next to nothing based off the Quiet Place, except for a few builds on Rebrickable for the Quiet Place monsters. And while good, a little too big for my personal taste. So I got to thinking, I know, dangerous, why not do it myself? But here's the thing, while I thoroughly enjoy building large-scale projects, cities, and medieval layouts, and I've gotten pretty decent at a little bit of everything in that realm, I do not have the skills some builders have when it comes to animal design, organic stuff, as well as custom minifigures. It's really hard to find the perfect piece for those minifigures that already exist. Now, I've been wanting to get into minifigure creation for some time, and I've thought through different videos I could do based off different movies and TV shows and media, but I thought, why not tackle minifigures as well as animals and combine it with my skills in building and to create one cool build based off these really good movies. With that being said, I have 3 goals for this video. Number 1 is to build as close to minifig scale possible Death Angel from A Quiet Place. I really want to keep the posability that the larger builds have, but I really want it to be sized down more. Goal number 2 is to build at least 3 custom minifigures for this build and get them as close as I can with using pieces I already have in the collection. I don't want to spend a ton of money ordering the exact perfect piece, even though it would be cool to get the exact perfect piece. I'm trying to limit myself to what I have already in my collection. And goal number 3 is to build a small diorama, or maybe reuse another diorama I have, to create a Quiet Place mock. One of the first, I think, on YouTube besides Death Angel designs. So I want to combine all 3 and make something cool and something new. With that being said, I think it's time we get into the video, so strap yourselves in and don't make too much noise. The first thing I designed was the head using this 1x1 snot brick with studs on all sides. I used some of these 1x1 red flower elements to represent the kind of inner muscular structure of the creature, and then some 1x2 slopes to create that opening effect. For the lower jaw, I used a 1x1 modified plate combined with this clip plate for the lower jaw, and then added some teeth represented by this 1x1 tiled off stud. Adding a clip to the back, now this thing can be mounted to a body. The body was honestly, besides the head, one of the hardest parts, just because it has a certain shape to it, as well as trying to give it the armored look, as well as trying to keep it small enough where it doesn't overpower everything else. You can see I added a ton of cheese wedges to the top and some vents around the side to represent more of that armored structure. We got 2 2x3 plates on the sides and a 1x4 in the middle, ball joints at the back, and some snot bricks holding some clips and a modified stud to help add some friction. Those will be for the arms, and then the clip up top will be for the head. For the hind legs, obviously there's 2 of them. I used a ball joint connector combined with this hinge plate, and then an L 2x2 plate, and then with a snot bracket, clip, and claw element. I think this pretty accurately represents those hind leg. Obviously, I got a mirrored version over here as well, and then the ball joints will allow them to connect to the torso. Now, the front arms is where the lethality, if that's even a word, how lethal it is, comes into play. These things are very long, very lanky, and very deadly. So we got a modified 1x2 clip bar element. I don't know what the technical term is here, which will connect to the torso. Got 2 of the hinge plates installed here, connected by a 1x4 plate along the bottom and a vent on the top. For the hand or claw or appendage, I used 2 of these clip elements combined with a small bar piece, 2 of these robot fingers, and then 2 different shaped large claws. And then when you bend it all up like so, we get a pretty creepy looking arm. Now it's time for assembly. Honestly, pretty proud of how this Death Angel design turned out. Grabbing a random minifigure here, you can see that it is probably a little larger than it's supposed to be. Not too much bigger, but still a little bit, especially considering the only model Unbreakable was much larger. But looking back, I'm thinking that one was meant to be the Queen Death Angel design that we see from Quiet Place Day 1. So yeah, I'm still happy with this one, and I needed a normal one anyway for my build, and I think this thing turned out really good, honestly. Really proud of myself for this one.
Next up, we have the minifigures. I decided on Lee Abbott, Reagan Abbott, and Marcus Abbott. First up, taking a look at Marcus Abbott, we got some short, dark brown legs, a reversed Tony Stark torso with some dark blue arms. I know he's supposed to be wearing kind of a Christmas sweater-y shirt, but I didn't have a piece that really fit that, so I think this does the job. I'm using a backpack in reddish brown to cover up the back print, which includes the collar of the shirt, as this is a reversed torso. I'm using a Ron Weasley head and a black version of the original Lloyd Garmadon hairpiece from LEGO Ninjago. Now I realize the hair and the eyebrows don't match, obviously. I would love to find a reddish brown hair piece that looks a little closer to what we see in the films, but I think this works good for now. Next up, we have Reagan Abbott. Now I will say the hair is a little off-putting from a front-on view, but from the side isn't as bad, particularly this one. I was able to find a dual molded hair piece with a cochlear implant accurate to what we see in the films. So I really wish there were more hair pieces, particularly longer female ones, that included this mold so I could create a more accurate minifigure. But unfortunately, the only female hairpiece I could find that uses that mold, it's on the wrong side for one, and it's blonde. So obviously that wouldn't work. So for the rest of the minifigure, however, I'm using these midi legs in dark tan, as well as a Harry Potter torso, a dingy, dirty one. I think it works pretty well. This dual molded backpack in dark green and lime green. And then I'm unsure of where this headpiece came from. It might be a Jyn Erso. No, it's not Jyn Erso. I don't know. Someone in the comment section let me know what this hairpiece or this headpiece is from. I just thought that the front on one looks pretty accurate to what we see in the film. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think.
I will say I did find an alternate hairpiece for Reagan. It's using a Princess Leia like hair bun style, and it looks pretty good, but it doesn't have the cochlear implant mold. So I think I like the cochlear implant mold better because it's more accurate, but let me know in the comment section if you prefer the other one.
Next up, we have the dad, Lee Abbott. For him, I'm using these printed dark tan leg elements with the pockets, as well as another Harry Potter torso. I believe this is actually Harry Potter's from the number 4 Privet Drive set. It's got that plaid look, and it's pretty close to what he wears in the first film. Unfortunately, they did not have a version of this torso all buttoned up, but I still think it works pretty well and looks like something that he would be wearing in the movies. He's also got a backpack. I believe this is one of the older brown shades, so slightly different color. I'm using a Series black head, also from Harry Potter, and a dark brown Poe Dameron hairpiece. I think it turned out pretty good.
All right, so we got our monster, we got our figures. Now we just need a diorama base. Now, I could build a fresh one from scratch, or I could just use a pre-existing MOC and do some heavy modifications on it. Looking at you, Zombie MOC. Alright, so after grabbing my Zombie Apocalypse MOC, I immediately realized it was going to need a ton of work to be the level of design I want it to be. And for the main thing, I didn't like the rectangular base. It was good for the Zombie MOC, but I wanted to step it up a little for this. So I created this free-form base using a variety of different pieces. Now I just need to plate it off along the top so we have a nice base to work with. I'm going to incorporate some of these road design over here. Debating whether or not I'm using this building or designing a new one. I might build this as its own separate thing now, like retailor it to a smaller diorama base so I can still have a diorama of a zombie apocalypse on my shelf and completely just retailer the road section. I think that's what I'm leaning towards right now. I'm just trying to decide, do I do road section with a section of the woods perhaps and some tall trees, because I want to have the death angel creature elevated on the side, either like crawling through on something. So I'm trying to decide, do I have it like in trees or do I have it on a building, which would be more accurate to what, you know, we see in the film. So probably some sort of building, just trying to decide what. But yeah, I think this is making good progress. So as you can see, a lot of modifications were made. The road is now fully installed. I do need to finish tiling off right here. I added in the sidewalk. I ended up removing it from the bottom of the building and tailoring it to fit this build. Added the sand pathway and a few connection points for some other details here in a minute. Now let's cut to a quick montage. All right, so as you can see, that montage added a lot to this build. I added a lot more vegetation and detail work to the front of this build, and I think it's looking a lot better. This is one of the few freeform bases that I've ever done, and one of the first that I've ever done this slope technique for the corners, and I think it turned out really nicely. Now, the first thing I knew I wanted to do with this build was build this building over here, something to elevate the Death Angel, and I think it turned out really nicely. We have a broken window over here. You can see it was a gun store, a lot of vegetation creeping up, and then we have my custom Death Angel kind of ripping out the top, and if you notice, its claws are even kind of sinking into the walls and windows a little bit, further selling that it's climbing out. On the other side, to add some height to it as well as balance it out, I added the stoplight, which is like one of the opening scenes of the first movie. You can see it fell down here. And then we also have this nice fall colored tree creeping up off the side of the build. I would love if I could continue this route down a little bit more, but I still feel like capping it off with that flower looks pretty nice. Now, there is a few illegal building techniques used in this build, one of which is right over here. You can see that the whip is just kind of hooked into that clip, and then I have this fern, like, or not fern, a stem piece element kind of just wedged in there, and from afar, it looks really good. But, you know, when I pointed out, it is an illegal building technique, but still, you know, it looks good. You'll also notice that I added another minifigure. I decided to go ahead and try my hand at building a custom Evelyn Abbott minifigure. The real reason I didn't want to do it initially was because she typically wears a flower dress in the film, and I didn't have one in green. So I ended up using some olive green elements as well as a reversed sand green torso from the Boutique Hotel set. And to cover up where her baby bump would be as she is pregnant in the first film, I decided just to have her and Marcus both holding these grocery bags full of supplies they just gathered from the pharmacy. And I think from the front on angle, it looks really good and you can tell exactly who they are. Taking a look at the back of the MOC, I included an Easter egg to the cop who unfortunately met his fate at the beginning of Quiet Place Part 2. And then inside the broken window of the gun store, we have another man who died standing his ground against the creatures. You can see he even has a box of shotgun rounds beside him to make sure he does not run out of ammo. Also a checklist on the ground. Wonder what he was checking off. Moving on to the second floor, we can see that the floor has been torn through as the Death Angel has been climbing up. I added some loose floorboards and stuff like that, including a wrench to represent maybe some metal piping holding this section together. And to actually hold the Death Angel up, I included some clear elements attached to one of its back feet and another cylinder, as well as a minifigure post piece connected to the stomach to hold it up. Here's a better angle of that, and you can see it holds them in pretty nicely at a pretty cool angle. I thoroughly enjoyed putting this build together, and I am super proud of the end result. But I want to know your guys' thoughts on it. If you guys have any suggestions or thoughts on the minifigures, the creature, or the MOC in general, please leave them in the comments section below. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on my build. If you want to see more awesome content, there should be some more videos popping up on the end screen here in just a second, so you can click on any one of those, and I'll see you on the next one. Farewell.